Me? For real? Oh. You can call from the Bahamas using Rev Boy's prepaid home phone service and prepaid chat cards for much less.
Hey girl, are you ready?
You get free unlimited on-island calls, voicemail, and no internet service or ID is required.
Hello?
Rev Boy's prepaid home phone service and prepaid chat cards.
Hey, vai bien.
Staying in touch never sounded so good.
Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned into NB12. Coming up tonight in news. A massive fire on Soldier Road threatened nearby homes and businesses last night. A suspect manages to take off in a police vehicle after he was arrested. We've got the details. NIB's new director has been selected, plus BTC prepares for a competition even as government considers extending its exclusivity period. Got those stories and so much more. I'm Monique Toot, and NB12 starts now. Tonight, a massive fire at Strawn's Auto Repair and Radiator on Soldier Road that raged into the night yesterday came within a few feet of setting alight the surrounding residential area. The fire, which sent a thick pillar of smoke billowing into the clouds for all to see from miles around, frightened residents, posed serious challenges for law enforcement officials, and now has government looking at a different approach to these issues. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Seymour said the fire started sometime after 4:30 p.m. and firefighters were unsure what caused it. As flames devoured scores of derelict cars on toward the back of Strawn's lot, firefighters were losing the battle with the blaze in the early evening as its intensity grew. Blanketing the area with smoke, the fire fed for hours, with the wind whipping it from east to west. At the scene, Garden Hill's Member of Parliament Dr. Kendall Major said he was going from corner to corner in the area talking with police and residents. He says people were in fear for their lives.
I've found that persons have been complaining that this business ought not be here because this is the fourth time it happened. And so area. So that fundamentally we need to do something about that. Okay. And then secondly, we need the fire trucks.
As firemen waited for more trucks, water and foam, nearby residents tried desperately to fight off the story's tall blaze. A man and woman whose apartment was mere inches from the fire stood on the apartment's roof attempting to fight the flames with a garden hose. He said it's the second time he's had to fight off a fire. Garvin Kemp, a concerned resident, stopped to see what help he could give.
And there it is, as you can see the fire right here, the tires and the upholstery getting ready to catch. So just coming in closer now is going to take these people out. I don't think these things should be so close to people out. As you can see now, this catch now, everybody's house, they get gas tanks and everything going around the area.
Despite the raging fire, some residents were playing basketball or recording the event on their phones. William Smith, who is a member of the Building Control Department in the Ministry of Works, was observing the blaze from a nearby building. He said the country needs to get serious about fire control.
It seems like just the water that the fire department is using, it seems like the fire is just extracting the oxygen from it because they don't have sufficient volume of water to deal with this issue. And this is why we are now taking a more stringent, a more strict approach in dealing with these issues when it comes to Siamese connections, hydrants, and so you see how important it is. We need to take another approach, and I think this is why we are now looking, like I said, seriously into and make sure that we have sufficient volume of water in every area and every sector of the island of the Bahamas.
According to police, the blaze was brought under control sometime after 11 p.m. with the assistance of firefighters from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the Airport Authority, and members of the community using heavy-duty equipment. Police said there were no reports of injuries or people needing medical attention as a result of the blaze. Environment Minister Henry Dorsett says officials from the Department of Environmental Health Services visited the site and he is awaiting an official report on what happened. He says officials are always concerned when a fire of this magnitude occurs.
It is a private body auto repair shop. As you are all aware, the government only has one official derelict vehicle site, and that's the site on Marshall Road that we intend to relocate. So I look forward to receiving the report to ascertain what happened, and the Department of Environmental Health Services has also been asked to go out to the site just to have a look, because I'm not entirely sure whether it is a scrap metal export operation controlled by customs or whether it is still or just a body auto repair store.
Dorsett urged affected residents with respiratory ailments to seek medical treatment.
I am sure that the Ministry of Health and Public Health will be issuing notices, and if they are not, I would encourage all the residents of Garden Hills and the neighboring communities, if there are any respiratory issues that they have, please go to the nearest clinic as quickly as possible.
Copper thieves have long plagued businesses on New Providence. The situation is getting so bad, though, that even Minister of National Security Dr. Bernard Nottage has called for another ban on copper exports. Tonight, Juan McCartney tells us a story about an alleged copper thief who slipped through the fingers of police even after he was caught.
SuperValue estimates that over the past year, thieves have gotten away with more than $1 million worth of valuables from its warehouse on Carmichael Road, frustrating the owner and security personnel. And after one security officer caught a break after a string of armed robberies over the past few days, a bizarre twist has the suspect still on the loose. SuperValue owner Rupert Roberts said the robbery took place around 3:30 a.m. Monday. He also said things had been quiet for a while, but since the government foreshadowed a temporary ban on copper exports about a week ago, they've been hit about 3 times. One of those times was just a few days ago, as this security camera footage shows alleged thieves on the warehouse property and a truck alarm going off in the middle of the night after reportedly being tampered with. That time, Roberts said, they stole fuel. But the big score was said to have happened before dawn on Monday, when one man seen in security camera footage entered the compound through a fence while 2 accomplices waited in a car on the other side. Security officer Sidney Roll, who lives on property and describes himself as well-armed, said he spotted the man as he allegedly raided $40,000 worth of copper in addition to other valuables.
I observed the suspect walking in the yard. So I later my girlfriend and I said, Chelsea, get in the yard. So I looked through the window and I saw him. So I went to the kitchen door and I opened it. When I opened it, I saw him climbing onto the truck, right? So I sneaked behind him and I locked him in the truck. When I locked him in the truck, he started to bang the door. So I said to him, I fire off a shot. If you come, I'm going to shoot you. Okay? So he kept bombing. So I look up a shot. And the police came. And they said the suspect's in the truck. So they said, come on the truck, put your hands up. So the suspect came out and he laid on the ground. They handcuffed him from the back, put him into the truck.
But according to SuperValue personnel, he didn't stay in the truck for long. Dario Smith, assistant manager at SuperValue's warehouse, said the suspect quickly turned the tables on police from the Carmichael Road station, who responded to the distress call.
We went over to look at the stuff that was in the bushes, and the perpetrator was in the back seat, handcuffed in the back, and whatever. And somehow he managed to probably get the handcuffs in the front, and then he jumped over in the front seat and took off in the truck.
He just went this way?
Yes, sir.
And he almost crashed?
Yes, sir. He almost crashed into that blue steel right there.
The police reportedly shot at the suspect as he drove off. One of our police sources said they recovered the vehicle sometime later. However, they couldn't say where the vehicle was recovered. The officers who responded to the call had to wait for another ride to come from the Carmichael Road station. When we asked an officer at the station for comment today, they referred us to Assistant Commissioner of Police Leon Bethel. Bethel told us that it's difficult but not impossible for a suspect to maneuver his hands to the front of his body even while cuffed, and it's happened before. Bethel said this investigation is now twofold. One, to investigate the criminal aspect concerning the robbery, and two, to investigate the administrative aspect concerning whether officers followed proper procedure while detaining the suspect. Meantime, all the suspects remain at large. Reporting for NB12, I'm Juan McCartney.
And the Deputy Prime Minister's aide is said to be in good spirits one day after two armed assailants approached him and shot him outside a home in the Gleniston Gardens area. Philip Brave Davis told reporters outside Cabinet this morning that Sergeant Andrew Sweeting was preparing to pick him up from the airport Monday morning when the dramatic incident unfolded. We're told Sweeting is in serious but stable condition. Davis says he visited the officer after he returned to the country yesterday.
I was out of the country. The other police aide was traveling with me, as he elected to have him travel with me, and he was at home readying the vehicle to come to get us from the airport, and he said he was cleaning the car to come to collect us, and that's when the incident happened. He's in good spirits, and he is going to be well. It's not life-threatening, his injuries, and thank God he is still with us today.
Police say after the two suspects approached Officer Sweeting and attempted to rob him, he moved to withdraw his service weapon but was shot in the abdomen and hand. Authorities are now questioning three men, ages 36, 23, and 18 from Nassau Village in connection with this incident. The Deputy Prime Minister says the shooting of his aide proves that anyone can fall victim to crime.
It doesn't add anything to our criminal activity, it doesn't take anything away. It is still unacceptably high, and what it tells us is that none of us are safe from what's going on in our country today, and that means that all of us must come together again to make a concerted effort to assault the scourge of crime that we have around us.
Coming up after the break, how BTC CEO feels about the Bahamas government amid take-back talks. The details of that story and more after this break.